Hi everyone, Anthony Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of Show Me the Body's album, Body War. These guys are a New York rock band who fuse together elements of funk rock, sludge metal, punk rock, rap into a pretty abrasive and ballsy sound. You know, it's rap rock, but without all the hang-ups of all the crappy commercial new and rap metal bands that came out in the late 90s and the 2000s. Just give a listen to the opening track, to the title track of this album. It's pretty much the band's mission statement. Heavy primal drums, the shouted, almost caveman-like vocals, buzzing bass, and twangy guitars that are herky and jerky and kind of unpredictable. They huff, they puff, they roar like a monster. There's something kind of post-punky about it as well. And all this stuff comes together into a super visceral sound. And there are other cuts on this record that are equally as good in terms of performance and intensity and writing, as well as just being an interesting mix of sounds, like the song Aspirin, which is a monstrous closer for the project and features these eerie, sparse guitar sounds that kind of add a little atmosphere to the heavy percussion and the grunting bass line. The ending is super crushing with the vocals and the guitars and the drums just all saturating the mix so aggressively at once. The song 2, Blood PACTS, has an odd little groove to it. Sounds like something one of the weirder alt-rock bands from the 90s would have recorded as a B-side or something. But all that being said, it's not like the track relies so heavily on nostalgia to be appealing. I mean, that's the case for Show Me the Body in general. There are a few things about their sound that feel like they're pulled directly from the past, but they're put together in such an odd and a modern way that this album couldn't have come out in any other decade than this decade. And on the song Chrome Exposed, we have this kind of diddling bass line which builds this very quiet tension before everything just explodes into this roaring wall of guitars and drums with this ascending and descending bass line that sounds almost like it's an upright bass that was mic'd and distorted or something, just the way that it... It's total madness. You know, there are a lot of things about this band that remind me of groups like Dope Body or Rat King, who I know they've performed live with, thrash crossover acts like Suicidal Tendencies. I don't know exactly what it is about them that sort of makes me think of Suicidal Tendencies. Maybe it's the vocals, the way the vocals are so shouty and kind of matter-of-fact over the visceral instrumentation. There's some slower cuts in the mix here too that aren't too bad. You know, even though they're more tender and they're not as pummeling, they're equally entertaining, like the track Metallic Taste, which to me has a bit of a King Cruel vibe to it. And the versatility on this record continues onto tracks like Tight SWAT, which is a bit of scuzzy, straightforward punk rock, which the band does equally as well as the tracks that they're fusing sludge and rap into. And the song Honest Hour, maybe my least favorite track here, but I do find it slightly intriguing that the band in the middle of the record would come through with this weird, droney, spoken, shouted word interlude. My only other issue with the record is that tracks like Worth One and New Language, while they are as pummeling and as crushing as many other cuts here, they do kind of feature that shouty vocal staccato delivery, which at this point on the album has worn itself out a little bit. Like, we've heard so many tracks so far that have the same vocal delivery. Was hoping for a little more change-ups at this point on the record. But overall, this is one of the gutsiest and most freaky rock debuts that you're going to hear this year. It's a raw, high-energy recording with some good performances on it. It was a lot of fun to listen to for me. And the band brings an interesting mix of styles that already sounds unique from their debut project over here. I can only hope into the future that they dive further down this rabbit hole and drum up some even more interesting sounds. I'm feeling a strong 7 to a light 8 on this thing.
Transition. Have you given this album a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best. You're the best. What should I hit the like? If you like, please subscribe, and please don't cry. Anthony Fantano, Show Me the Body forever.